It's no secret that Jude Bellingham is making a big impact at Real Madrid. Despite only playing 4 games, he's quickly become a fan favourite and is being hailed as the team's new hero. In fact, he's so confident in his abilities that he believes he's 10 times better than he was last season. That's difficult to argue. Bellingham's impressive stats speak for themselves. He's already scored 5 goals and provided 1 assist, accounting for 75% of Real Madrid's goals. To make this happen, Ancelotti has made some changes to the team system, and we're going to dive into those details. So welcome back and thank you for this recommendation as well. We are going to be doing a Real Madrid tactic. It's a new formation at Real Madrid for Carlo Ancelotti, one that he's used before at Milan. And what we're going to do again is use the scout report. So I watched over some Real Madrid games and I took some notes of some things that I want to replicate into Football Manager and why Jude Bellingham has been so effective so far at Real Madrid. Does this system benefit him and only him, or does it benefit the whole squad? We're going to get stuck into that. When Real Madrid look to build up, they will build up in a diamond shape with both fullbacks wide, stretching the pitch and making it, well, wide. Rodrigo takes up a very, very wide position as well. So he is one of the 2 strikers, but often you will see that left striker, Rodrigo, against Getafe is the match that I watched the whole 90 minutes. He was way out on that left-hand side, and the aim is to exploit the wider areas when advancing through the thirds. Real Madrid would create wide overloads to exploit the wider areas without adhering to any real structure for positional play, and this allowed for positional freedom. So during the match, one time you might see Luka Modric, who was the right-sided central midfielder, over way out on the left-hand side. You might see the defensive midfielder as the right-sided central midfielder, or you might see the defensive midfielder on the left-hand side. There was a lot of positional freedom, but also a lot of positional rotations. Jude Bellingham's intelligent runs are one reason for his excellent form. Real Madrid forwards will stretch that back line as we mentioned, and that creates space for runners by dragging defenders. So again, you can imagine the left-sided or the right-sided striker drifting off towards the flank. That would then attract a fullback to mark him, and this again will now allow space in between those channels for deeper runners to then exploit. Real Madrid attacked and built up in the wider areas, creating space for the central players to excel. To create chances, Real Madrid plans to utilize crosses into the box with central players making those deep attacking runs. Dribblers like Vini and Rodrigo will also attempt to carry the ball into the box to create chances for Real Madrid. After losing possession of the ball, Real Madrid neither counter-press nor regroup back to their defensive position. In fact, they remain patient and continue to block progressive lanes. And when Getafe attacked Real Madrid's defensive line in their most recent game, Real Madrid's defenders dropped off and they dropped back instead of stepping up to stop the attack. They retreated deep and focused on marking spaces. Off the ball, lengthy spells without the ball, Real Madrid would operate in a mid-block. They allowed Getafe to build up at any time Getafe attempted to. Only Joselu, the striker in this match, would engage the centre-backs or the goalkeeper. Real Madrid would defend in their 4-4-2 diamond shape and they don't press intensely. But now we are going to go into Football Manager. If you haven't yet, make sure you like this video, make sure you are subscribed as well, but also make sure you check out the FM Pod Show. That's the podcast I'm on, all about Football Manager. Make sure you go and check it out. The link is in the description below. But for now, let's go into Football Manager, look at the tactic, the results, and also play that Champions League final. So very briefly, we will look at the results. La Liga Santander, Real Madrid topped the division in the Champions League. We've got to play that game at the end of this video. In the Copa del Rey, I believe that is, we are the winners. And in the Super Copa, we are the winners as well. So far, we have 3 trophies in Spain. Can we make it a 4th by winning that Champions League? Now, we're not going to look at the stats too much because we are Real Madrid. We are expected to do really, really well, but we do want to look at some of the key stats, the key players in this team. Now, this tactic is all about, really, it's all about Jude Bellingham. How well did Jude Bellingham do? Now, if we sort out the team by average rating, he is currently in 5th place, but we do have Eddie Nketiah here who played a lot fewer games than the other players. So we would say he is top 4 best players in this team. He scored 16 goals, very respectable, but with 19 assists. So he scored 16 goals, 19 assists in 46 starts. Absolutely incredible. The star man you could say is Vinicius Jr. with 37 goals, 8 assists. Rodrigo, he's got 19 goals. Joselu popped up with some goals as well, but we did mention Eddie Nketiah. I did sign Eddie Nketiah for some more power, but some players wanted to leave and to keep this team happy so we can go and win some of these trophies as well, which is what I feel you should do in a tactic test. Make sure people are happy and that you will get the best out of your tactic that way as well. So we did bring in Eddie Nketiah, but we also brought in Benjamin White. He is a much better right back than Carvajal and Nacho. We can look at the data hub as well. We scored 111 goals, expected to score 90. We got 99 points, expected 91 points. We were expected to finish first, and that is exactly where we finished. And then you can see here as well, we are performing well above the average statistically when we're looking at the general performance, but the same will go for the attacking performance as well. And a very brief test with Milan as well. We're currently on top of the table after 15 games, winning 14 and drawing 1, losing none so far. Actually, we've just beaten Juve away from home, which was a very, very good result. We did lose against Benfica and Lens in the Champions League. So this team, this tactic, it might not be strong enough for you to rotate, but also it is suited for Real Madrid and players like Bellingham and Vinny. But now let's break down this tactic. So we will start off with the shape, the most obvious shape. We are going to go with that 4-4-2 diamond. Now, in real life, we was talking about the Rodrigo role. He would, I mean, if we could, he would be right here on the left. Not a left winger, but out here as a left forward. Currently, we can only place him centrally. So like the last video as well, at the bottom left, I will be popping up the players heat map so you can kind of see as well why I have given some of these players the roles that I have given. So in goal, and I'll say the back three, so the 2 central defenders and the goalkeeper, we're actually just leaving it blank. They are going to be standard central defenders. The reason why I'm using standard central defenders and not a ball playing defender is because the tempo, we are using a higher tempo, and obviously your ball playing defenders will be very eager to get that ball forward, which Real Madrid's defenders will like to play into the wider areas, so Real Madrid can then build up and look to exploit those wider areas. And then we're just going to leave the standard keeper because I said so. The left back though will be a fullback on attack. Sometimes when they did make this overlapping run, there was a heavy overload on the left hand side, and this actually allowed the left back to overlap, which would happen naturally with the attacking duty. And then for the right side of fullback, we're just going to leave him on support. Now moving into the defensive midfield, originally I started with a defensive midfielder on support, but to be fair, it wasn't great. It weren't great. And then I was thinking, what's going on? I changed it to a ball winning midfielder on support, and then the results didn't increase. Not just the results for the team, but the players' performance also increased. On the left hand side, we do have a central midfielder on support, and then on the right hand side for that Luka Modric role against Getafe, we are going to be using a Mazzala on support. Toni Kroos did come on in the second half, and he did change the game on the left hand side of this diamond. So to try and replicate that a little bit, we are going to be asking the left sided central midfielder to take more risks, and Camavinga did start the game, so we are going to ask him to run wider the ball, because again, got to get that left sided central midfielder into those wider areas, which we saw a lot when Toni Kroos came on and when Camavinga started. Now, for the most important role of the tactic, Jude Bellingham, I did again start out as a shadow striker. One of the reasons being is because dribble more and move into the channel are already hard-coded, so it will be a part of the shadow striker, but then again, we don't really get the movement from deep. He already starts high, and Jude Bellingham actually starts a lot of his runs from deep, which is why I went with the attacking midfielder on attack, because you can see here as well, it's just slightly deeper. The shadow striker is a lot more closer to the 2 strikers than the attacking midfielder is. And then in player instruction is where you can add move into channels and dribble more with the ball. Up front, I am going in mind with Rodrigo and Vinicius Jr. up top. So for Vinicius Jr., we are going to be using an advanced forward on attack on the left hand side, ask him to stay wider. And then for the Rodrigo on the right hand side, we are going to be using a complete forward on attack, someone that can just roam around. Now, we have spoken about functional play before in previous videos. Fernando Diniz is someone that uses functional play, and Rodrigo is he is the player. He is the player for it. When you are watching Rodrigo, you would notice he's not assigned to one position or role on the pitch. You will see Rodrigo pop up in all sorts of different pockets and spaces. Rodrigo is a very, very interesting player. Now, looking at the pass map in Football Manager, how did we, you can see we achieved this left-sided striker, receiving the ball way out on the left-hand side. This is our pass map against Almeria. So now for the team instructions to get the ball into those wider areas, the attacking width will be on fairly wide. The approach play, we are going to play out from the back rather than kicking it long, because up top, again, a lot of the times we are playing Vinicius and Rodrigo, which is going to lose. We are going to lose that header immediately. So we are going to play out from the back to try and reduce those long balls forward. The passing directness is on standard, and then the tempo is on slightly higher. So I mentioned earlier why we're not using ball playing defenders. One reason is the slightly higher tempo, but also another second reason is we're not necessarily using short passing. So the ball playing defender has little reason to keep possession and retaining it. In the final third, we are going to whip the ball in because we've got a lot of bodies in the box. We are going to work the ball into the box slightly as well. That's more so a Football Manager instruction to stop those long shots, and then creative freedom, be more expressive. In transition, when possession has been lost, no pressing or no regrouping, but we will make counter-attacking movements once we won the ball. When the goalkeeper's in possession, distribute that quickly and to the centre backs. Lastly, out of possession, operating in that mid block, inviting crosses or not to invite crosses. Now, I'm actually just going to remove this. Actually, I would remove this. If you do download the version with this, just remove it. And then we are going to be dropping off more, something that we saw in the analysis. Trigger press on more often, and that is how we are going to defend out of possession. Now, what happens when we play the bigger teams away? The Juves, the Arsenals. I always mention Arsenal. The Barças. The Atleticos. Of course, we have an away version from that. So slight tweaks. The ball winning midfielder is now on defend. In possession, I'm not sure we've actually changed much, but in transition, we are now regrouping. We are getting players back into their defensive positioning, and everything is it's kept the same. It's kept the same. And again, just remove invite crosses if your version does come with invite crosses. Now, that there is the tactical wrapped up. Let's play the Champions final. Let's get stuck in. Given it is the Champions League final, we are going to use the away version, see how we get on. If needed to be, then we would use a more positive mentality and then use the other version as well to get back into the game. Let's go. So I am going to pump fist or point finger. We are going to point our fingers, go out there and prove to everyone why we should be the champions. The match momentum is currently, with Arsenal. 5 minutes in, the match momentum is with Arsenal. Here's Jesus running down the line, but Camavinga intercepts. He plays it into Rudiger. Rudiger to Eder Militao. Here is Benjamin White. That's a poor pass. That is an awful, that's shocking. Gabriel Jesus over the top. That is a shocking pass there. So the opening 10 minutes, the only team to have a shot or a chance at a goal is Arsenal. All the momentum is currently with Arsenal. I think we're going to have to make a change already, you know. I am not feeling this. We are going to make a change, and we're just going to go to this original tactic. The original, the more positive version, and hopefully we can get a goal. Here's Erdegaard with a deep free kick. Whips it in. It's headed out. Declan Rice wins it. Jorginho over the bar. We have not seen anything from Real Madrid. Well, that's been a very, very boring first half in the Champions League final. Martinelli, though, has been dangerous. So it's the wider areas. It could be the wider areas killing us. So we're going to try and trap them on the inside. And maybe, should we keep? No, we'll just keep that. We'll keep that as it is. Possibly take off, be more expressive. And then let's go in the second half. Let's go, boys. So the second half has just started. And it seems like we're getting back into the game. Here's, Valverde to Tchouameni. Vinicius Jr. play out wide. Let's go. They're down the line. Vinny, pass into the box. What he's doing? Rodrigo, and it's 1-0. Hala Madrid. It's 1-0. I would say that's against the run of play. We don't deserve that as the game has gone so far. But we are 1-0 up. We're the only team to have a shot on target. And we started the second half very, very strongly. Yeah, they're control. Oh no, I was just about to say Madrid are controlling this game. Here's Declan Rice. Zinchenko down the left-hand side. Puts into the, no penalties, please. No penalties, please. Get it out, boys. Timber, there's no pressure on him. There's no pressure. Oh, what's he doing? This Camavinga, he just lets him have the ball. Why? I mean, I know we're not pressing intensely, but that just seems very silly just to stand there and let someone run into the box and not challenge them at all. That's really annoyed me because the second half we was in much better control. than we were in the first half. And then that goal there has really annoyed me. I cannot lie to you, because our players should not just be standing there. You should not be just standing there. We will take drop off more. Here's Valverde with a corner, whips it in. Militao, looks for Militao. Here's Rudiger. No, come on. Rudiger, Valverde, plays offside. Shemen, oh, that's never going. Let's go! What a goal! What I was just saying, that is never going in. That one was never going in, and it's found its way into the corner. Ramsdale beaten by an absolute banger from our DM, our ball-winning midfielder. And please, let's see out the first half of this extra time. And maybe we do need to make some substitutions though, because our players are getting a bit tired. Let's go to the tactics screen. Let's sort this team out by the tired legs. Camavinga, I mean, yeah, Camavinga is definitely one that we're looking to sub off, especially after that after the goal conceded. Alaba possibly as well. We'll get Mendy on and Ben White off for Nacho. So we will replace the fullbacks, make sure the fullbacks have got some energy, and make sure the midfield as well. Valverde, oh, that's difficult there. You know what? I would just leave that, to be fair. Oh no, here's Arsenal with their free kick now. Nelson, Bellingham gets it out. Modric, play it, Modric. Oh, what a pass to Mendy. Mendy, let's go forward now, boys. Let's go forward a little bit. Here's Mendy. Into the middle now. There we are, touch Mendy. Bellingham. Oh, he's going to have a shot. Valverde, looking for Vinny. Oh, no. If you played Football Manager for as long as I have, you might know what's coming next. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Muddy. It's muddy. Can we mud Arsenal in the line? It seems like we're doing well in possession as well. We're doing a lot better in the second half. And it seems like we have wrapped up the Champions League final. Oh, what a goal from Tchouaméni as well to wrap that up. And there we are. Real Madrid, Champions League winners again. Another one. And if you have enjoyed today's video, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you like this video. Do not leave this place without liking this video, especially if you've made it this far as well. Shout out to my Patreons. Make sure you check out my Patreon and the services over there. I will see you guys soon. Stay safe. God bless. Peace out and boom.